Should you get a Sony mirrorless camera, especially if you're on a really tight budget? What is good, YouTube? It's That One Camera Guy, back again with another video for you. And in this episode, I'm going to focus on helping those of you who are kind of like weekend warriors. You're kind of interested in wanting to get into photography. You have that photography itch, and you want to go ahead and start maybe, building funds, doing a few gigs here and there, and upgrading your equipment as you go. The reality is does it make a lot of sense to go with the mirrorless, or should you go ahead and jump into a DSLR type system? That's really going to be the question you got to ask yourself. So I'm going to create a scenario that I'm going to go through. And by the way, I've done this before in a separate video. So if you've seen it, if you've seen that video where I kind of just start picking out items and building out a gear set, it's going to be similar to what you're going to see in this video. We can also talk about mirrorless as well. If I was going to go ahead and build a mirrorless system, that might be in a different video, but we're also going to look at that in the future too. So if I was starting from the ground up and building myself up, let's go ahead, let's just get started. Okay, I'm going to jump to my tutorial mode here. And if I was going to go ahead and get started, some types of lenses that you're going to need are a staple f2.8 zoom lens. That's usually a typical one, especially if you want to start getting into like doing weddings or events. So those are really important lenses. The problem is for APS-C, there is none of those. Okay, there is no offerings. It's pretty much either the 18-105 f4, which is $600, and then there is the 16-70 f4, which is $1,000 retail. These are retail prices, by the way, that I'm giving you. They're very, very expensive. But let's say you only have a few $100. How do I get started? So let's go ahead and jump into the situation. Or, by the way, maybe you're a high school student. This is going to be pretty interesting for you too. So, and start looking at some stuff. First off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump into eBay. And you need to do some research. You can either go Canon or Nikon, because again, the goal is to kind of entice you to want to take a look at DSLRs first. I'm more familiar with Canon and Sony, so that's the reason why I'm looking these cameras up and not other brands. The camera I would start off with is a Canon T2i. That was the first camera that I had started with, and I think that's the way I'm going to go. You can go via Nikon or something like that. Now the prices for a body-only T2i I'm seeing go for about $200. Now prices have been kind of going up a little bit, but $200 is kind of roughly where the price of the Canon T2i is. So let's go to my chart over here, and let's say that we're just starting. I'm going to go ahead and add a Canon T2i, and that's going for $200. Boom. So that's where we're at so far. And then now we don't have a lens. You're like, okay, well, that's great, That One Camera Guy, but I don't have a lens. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and add a Yongnuo 50mm f Yongnuo lens. Now, I think Amazon's a better place to pick this up, but I'm just going to type in Yongnuo 50mm f1.8. Let's go to Amazon as well. And I'm going to go ahead and type in Yongnuo 50mm f1.8. Let's take a look here. $50. Okay, cool. So that's going for $50. Let's go ahead and jump to our chart here. Yongnuo 50mm f1.8. And I'm going to try and put links to the stuff down below if you're interested in checking this stuff out. So we're at $250 so far. Okay, and then let's go ahead and tack on a 32 gigabyte SD card. Again, we're on Amazon.com. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and get one of these. So let's say $13. Let's get two of those. So SD card. I didn't do this last time, but SD card. Let's just say $26 or $25. Let's say $25 for that, and then some spare batteries. Dude, we're getting way too detailed here, but I don't know. Let me know if this is interesting to you or not. If not, well, okay, shoot. I'm so sorry. All right, so Canon T2i, Wasabi, batteries. Okay, so because we need some spare batteries here. All right, looks like we can get a kit here, $20. Okay, let's just say spare batteries, $20. All right, we're just gonna round up to 25. Okay, cool. We're at $300, and $300, we are ready to rock and roll. Especially if you're in high school, $300, you can save that stuff up, right? A few birthdays here and there. So $300, what do you do next? What in the world can we start doing? Okay, so what I would recommend, or what I would try to do, is I would try and hustle as much as I can to see if I can do some portraits or some senior portraits of people at the schools, at the high schools and such, and then start saving some money. So let's say, for example, let me jump to my little chart here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set this up as like savings or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and just put some here. Apologize for this, right? And let's say, for example, we do portraits, and I don't know. Let's just start here, right? We're just doing like 75 buck portraits or something like that. You know, we're starting low. We're starting low. We're starting low. Okay. Then we do enough of these gigs, and then finally we saved up enough to get a standard. We did enough to save up for a standard 1750 lens. So now we got $300. Right, so we did 4 portraits. Let's jump to my mode here. We're going to go ahead and jump to, I think even Amazon has this. If I type in Sigma 1750, if you take a look here, there we go. International, no warranty. This is gray market, 300 bucks for that lens. I'm going to go ahead and tack it on to my total here. So let's jump over here. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a lens. So this is the Sigma 1750 f2.8. This is a really nice standard lens. $300. So we are consuming, I'm going to go ahead and move this down here, guys. I'm so sorry here. Let's see. Let's just drag this all the way down. There we go. Let me delete that. Okay. So that's where we're at so far. Now, the next thing we need to do is, this is just a hypothetical situation. For me to be comfortable with shooting a wedding, I need at least 2 camera bodies. Okay. So I would try to do 2 things right now. I want to try and not only just add a couple of flashes, I also want to go ahead and add a second body. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to hustle again. We got to hustle. Okay, so let's say we're back over here again. We're going to do a few more portraits. Okay, so let's say we got those done. We're going to try and do a few more. You know, maybe this time we're charging 100 bucks now. Right? So now, let's say we saved up another $300. So we have $300 more. What am I going to get next with $300? I need to get a flash, 1 or 2, and I'm going to go ahead and try and add one more second body, a Canon T2i. So let's go ahead and type up in Amazon.com Yongnuo Canon flash. All right. So let's see here. Oh man, they're going up in price. So you can get a manual flash for like 50 bucks, but if you really want to scrounge your pennies, you can go ahead and get one for what is this, 60 bucks? Am I getting detail on that? I don't think I am. I'm not sure. So let's just say, I don't know, $60. You can go ahead and get yourself a Canon flash for 60 bucks. So let's go ahead and jump over here to this side. Type in flash. Shoot. Flash. And let's say we got 2 of them. Let's just say we got, 120. We got 2 of them just to play it safe. And then we're going to go ahead and add another Canon T2i along the road, and that's going to be another 200 bucks. All right, so now we're $920. We're $20 over budgeted or something like that, but we're probably going to go ahead and do a few more portraits. The last lens that I want to add, by the way, is actually an 85 millimeter lens. All right, so I'm going to go back, hustle some more. Maybe I can shoot some smaller events like a quinceañera or something like that, or a smaller gig, and maybe make like another $400. You know, maybe a smaller gig. Right? You know, we're going really baseline budget here because I'm thinking about more economies of the economy or section of people that I'm working with. These people just don't have a lot of funds to, you know, spend thousands and thousands of dollars. So then what I'm going to do is let's go and take a look at the price of a Canon 85 f1.8 on Amazon real quick. The 70 to 200 just out of my reach right now, so I can't upgrade to that point yet. Okay, so the 85 is going for about $349, $350. Okay, cool. Can I get it cheaper online? On eBay? Oh shoot, this is even better. These things are pretty solid lenses, but if you want to play it safe, you can go ahead and just buy it brand new. All right, so let's just go ahead and buy a brand new Canon 85 millimeter f1.8. I'm gonna go get that for $350, and we're good. We still have a little bit extra cash that we've saved up. Okay, so we got like 30 bucks. So now we're ready to go ahead and start shooting some weddings. Okay, so again, hustle, reach out, find people, try to find gigs that are like $500 to $1,000, and we'll start going ahead and smashing that direction. And then the next goal will be to go ahead and add a full frame camera to our list of our list and situation. So let's say, for example, we're back at it again, right? And we're trying to go ahead and do a couple of gigs, and let's say we secure maybe 2 weddings, and we charge $1,000 for that. So now we have an extra 2 grand under our pockets to go ahead and start upgrading. So a couple of things that I would do next is I would add one full frame body next to my kit. So the cameras that I'm more comfortable with is either going to be the 5D Mark II or the original Canon 6D. So let's just go ahead and do a pulse quick check right now. Canon 6D, and see how that's doing. Canon 6Ds look like, just off the cuff, they're going for like, what, 800 bucks? Oh, high shutter count. All right, let's say 850, okay? So 850, let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. So I'm gonna go Canon 6D 850. If I do 2 of those, that's gonna be $1,700, and that's going to price us out. So I'm gonna get 2 of these, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offload and sell my T2Is at this point. So I'm just gonna delete those, and I can probably sell them back for about 200 bucks. So I'm just gonna sell them off. They're gonna disappear. So right now we're at $2570 in terms of our overall budget. And then what I'm gonna do is sell off my 1750 f2.8. Okay, so now if you take a look at it, we've raised about $3,000 worth of funds so far. And then we're at $220.70. So we got like at least $700 that we can spend. Then what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add on a 24-70 f2.8. Okay, that's the next thing we're gonna do. That's a staple lens. And I'm quickly gonna navigate and jump to, I'm just curious about Amazon prices first. I'm gonna go ahead and check Tamron 24-70 f2.8. Gray market is 700 bucks. So let's go ahead and jump and update that on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add on Tamron 24-70 f2.8. $700, and that puts us at just shy of the amount. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and think a little, like, take a step back here. We started off with 300 bucks. All right, we picked up the T2I, a 50mm lens. We hustled. We did portraits after portraits after portraits, and we just kept hustling to save money. We then, after we hustled, we took the earnings that we did. We added on the 17-50. We added on a flash. Then we added a second camera T2I body. Then we kept hustling again, and we did some short gigs, maybe a smaller one that paid about 400 bucks. And then we were able to go ahead and add on an 85 f1.8, which was kind of where we wanted to be at. So then we finally did a couple of weddings for people that we trusted. Let's say they're, close relatives or family members, and asked for $1,000, which might be a hard stretch, but you probably could do it. So $1,000, did a couple of those. Then we added 2 full frame 6Ds, which are solid cameras. Now, a couple of things I ignored was the updated batteries that we needed to buy, some extra cards, but you get the idea. So in total, if you wanted to start from the ground up within a year, you might be able to do something like this. This isn't impossible, that you can start from the ground and push all the way up from the baseline. And I think that kind of hustle is even better. I think that's pretty freaking awesome if you could hustle in that direction. So now you got 2 solid camera bodies. You got a 24-70 and you got an 85 f1.8. So you have pretty decent reach. You've got a couple of flashes that you can work with. You can pretty much handle any type of event you're going to shoot. Granted, video-wise, you still only can do 1080p, which isn't bad, and you can incorporate some of that into your production if you needed to. So that is how I would look at building out a system. And from there, you have your equipment, you have your gear, you keep hustling, you keep going. You keep going. And then I would try to do maybe 2 more gigs if you can. And then what I would do is I would upgrade to a 70-200 f2.8. So let's take a look at this right now. I know the video is kind of stretched out a lot longer than it should have been. So let's type in Tamron 70-200 and see what pops up. Look at this. You can actually get a gray market 70-200, no warranty, for $860. Well, that's Nikon. Canon, you can get it for $802. And that's the VC model. It's not the latest one, but you could get it for $800. That's insane. That is the route that I would go. If you're a high schooler and you just want to get started, I'm telling you right now, don't get the mirrorless cameras right from the get-go. Now, I am going to do a video on starting from the ground up. If I was going to start from the ground up with mirrorless and move upwards, what approach I would take. It might be similar, it might be a little bit different, but it might be interesting to see because you might have to start off with more money in the beginning. But if you're just starting with a few $100, you definitely can get started with this particular system. So it's going to be much harder to work your way up to a full set of stuff in photography if you're doing mirrorless, because you're going to have to buy those f2.8 lenses and they're really expensive. There's no third-party options right now. So folks, that's going to do it for me. If you thought this was interesting, consider giving a like, subscribing. I will put some links in the comments and description below if you want to check them out. And with that said, I'm your host, That One Camera Guy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.